All right, today on The Explainer, we're digging into a classic business story. It's a real David versus Goliath, but this one's taking place in the cloud. It's the story of how a small, local player is taking on the massive, impersonal giants of the data world.
So let's kick things off with a question that might hit a little too close to home. Are you stuck on hold while your servers are crashing? That feeling of pure panic? Yeah, that's exactly where we're going to start our story.
To really get what's going on here, we first have to wrap our heads around the modern digital landscape. And let me tell you, we are entering a world of giants.
And these giants, well, they have a name: hyperscalers. So what exactly is a hyperscaler? Put simply, it's a massive cloud service provider offering computing and storage at an absolutely enormous scale. Think of the biggest names in tech. Yep, that's the league we're talking about.
Now, as you can imagine, these guys are the titans of the digital world. They provide incredibly powerful infrastructure. But here's the catch. That power comes with a trade-off. Their solutions are often pretty impersonal. You know, these one-size-fits-all packages designed for the masses, not necessarily for you. And that leads us right to the core of the problem, what we're calling the hyperscaler headache. It's all about that feeling of being a small fish in their absolutely massive ocean. Just picture this for a second. Your entire business is offline, you're hemorrhaging money, and this is the message you get. Your ticket is #427. Estimated resolution time, 3 to 5 business days. I mean, that's not just an inconvenience, right? That is a potential catastrophe. And you want to know the journey that ticket takes? It's this slow, bureaucratic march to nowhere. First, you submit the ticket. Then you get that lovely automated reply, you know, the one, "We've received your ticket." Then you wait. You escalate the case. And guess what? You wait again. Every single step is just another delay, another layer of separation between you and an actual solution. So it's no surprise that all of this adds up to some really common pains for customers. You feel like you're being treated like just another number, lost in these endless ticket queues. You're talking to techs who aren't even in your time zone, let alone your region. The policies are totally inflexible, and get this, you might need 50 or more server racks just to get on their radar. For most businesses, that's just not going to happen. But, you know, out of all that frustration, a totally different model is starting to emerge. So let's meet the local challenger and their radically different approach.
And their whole approach starts with this one fundamental question that just flips the entire hyperscaler model right on its head. What if your data center actually understood your business, your region, and your specific needs? Just think about that for a second.
And that question brings us to our case study for today, Aventus Data Centers. This quote right here, it says everything you need to know. Wisconsin-born and Wisconsin-run. See, that's not just a cute tagline. It's the very core of their entire business strategy, and it immediately sets them apart from those faceless global giants. Okay, so how does a small local player actually go head-to-head with these behemoths? Let's break down their strategy. A completely different way of doing business.
And when you put them side by side, the difference is it's night and day. On one hand, the hyperscaler model gives you endless queues and faceless technicians. But the local challenger? They offer direct calls to actual experts and on-site staff who can put their hands on your gear. It's the difference between a one-size-fits-none policy and a solution that's truly hyper-personalized.
They boil this all down into one powerful commitment they call the no-ticket promise. When you call, we act. No runaround, no excuses, just fast fixes. I mean, come on. This is a direct assault on the single biggest pain point of the hyperscaler model. It's exactly what frustrated customers are dying to hear. Okay, and this is where the strategy gets really, really clever. They connect their local friendly persona to some serious technical proof. So that promise of the Wisconsin way, that's not just talk. It's backed by being a SOC 2 certified facility. And that means they meet some crazy rigorous security standards. That cheesehead confidence? Well, that's backed by Tier 3 infrastructure, which means super high reliability. You see what they're doing? They're not just saying, hey, we're your neighbors. They're proving we're also world-class engineers. This local focus also plugs right into a huge tech trend called edge computing. All right, so why does any of this matter beyond this one company in Wisconsin? Let's zoom out and take a look at what we're calling the hyper-local advantage. The thing is, what Aventus is doing isn't some happy accident. It's a playbook that other businesses can follow. First, they turn their small size into their biggest strength, personal service. Then they build this really powerful identity by leaning right into their local culture. This appeals directly to customers who feel completely ignored by the big guys. And this is the crucial part, They back up that relatable persona with undeniable technical credibility. It's the whole shebang.
And this really brings us to the big takeaway of this whole explainer. Look, this story isn't just about data centers or cloud computing. Not really. It's a lesson in modern business strategy. It's about how any small business, in any industry, can find a way to compete. The key is to stop trying to be the giants, and instead, be everything the giants are not.
Which leaves us with one final, provocative thought to chew on. In a world that seems to be totally dominated by these massive global corporations, could it be that being small, local, and personal is the new competitive advantage?